Director Oates here, and welcome back to the Podcasting for Videographer series. In this lesson, we're going to dive into one of the most crucial aspects of podcasting, the quality of your audio and video. Whether you're creating an audio-only podcast or a full video experience, the quality of sound and image can make or break your show. We will be talking about the importance of sound and image quality in podcasts, understanding frame rates, resolutions, and audio sampling. We'll also be talking about lighting basics for clarity and using soundproofing techniques for better audio. Let's break down what you need to know to make sure your podcast stands out. For starters, sound and image quality. Sound and image quality are essential for keeping your audience engaged. If your podcast has poor audio, like distorted voices, static noise, or background hums, it can be very hard for listeners to stay tuned. Similarly, bad video quality, grainy footage, poor lighting can distract viewers and make your content hard to watch. On the other hand, crisp and clear audio and vibrant video creates a professional atmosphere, making it easier for your audience to connect with your message. So you always want to have clear audio and visuals for your podcast. Let's talk about settings. Starting with frame rates and resolution. Frame rates refer to how many frames per second your video captures. For example, 24 frames per second gives a cinematic feel, while 30 frames per second is ideal for smooth broadcasting style video. If you want fast-paced motion to appear super smooth, then 60 frames per second is the way to go. When we get into resolution refers to how clear your video is. Always remember, the higher the resolution, the sharper the image. For beginning podcasts, I recommend shooting in 1080p, full HD at 30 frames per second. That gives you a good balance of quality and performance. However, if you're ready to go pro or want more of a professional feel, then try shooting in 4K at 24 frames per second, because this provides exceptional clarity and detail for your podcast. On the other hand, crisp and clear audio matched with vibrant video creates a professional atmosphere, making it easier for your audience to connect with your content and message. So you always want to try and have clear audio and clear visuals for your podcast. Now, let's talk about audio quality. Two of the main factors that affect audio clarity are sample rate and bit depth. Sample rate refers to how often the audio is captured per second. A standard for high quality audio is 44.1 kilohertz. And if you don't know, 1 kilohertz is equivalent to 1,000 hertz. But to continue my point, for better clarity, especially for podcasts that's needed to capture every sound, I suggest you use 48 kilohertz. In regards to bit depth is another factor. The higher the bit depth, the more detailed the sound is. A 16-bit depth is common for most podcasts, but going into 24-bit allows for better dynamic range and a deeper sound clarity. Depending on what level of podcast you are or how engaged you want to be in the post-production process, I suggest you do the research on your preference before you get to your post-production process. Lighting is another crucial factor in making sure your podcast looks great. Proper lighting helps ensure that your face is well lit, clearly visible on camera, also while avoiding harsh shadows and overexposure. Start with the key light. This is your main light source. Place it at a 45-degree angle from your face to create a flattering and even light. Next, use a fill light on the opposite side to reduce harsh shadows. And if you have a third light, then it's great to use it as a backlight or a hair light to separate you from the background. Another key element in the process that gets lost but will really make or break your podcast is soundproofing. Let's talk about soundproofing and what it is. You might have the best microphone in the world, but if you're recording in a noisy room with bad acoustics, then the sound will be subpar. So, soundproofing ensures that your audio remains crisp and professional. For more advanced setups, consider adding heavy curtains, carpets, or even soundproof doors and windows to keep external noise at bay. Keep in mind, the better your soundproofing means the better your audio will translate, giving your podcast a polished and professional feel. You might have the best microphone in the world, but if you're recording in a noisy room with bad acoustics, then the sound would just be subpar. To recap, to ensure high quality audio and video for your podcast, focus on your resolution, frame rate, and audio settings. Lighting is key to looking your best on camera, and soundproofing is essential to get clear, professional audio. Apply these tips and your podcast will definitely stand out. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on more tips on podcasting and videography, and see you in the next lesson.